Discover the advantage of unlimited access to all the stories and resources from IBJ and Inside Indiana Business. From insights to inspiration, business leaders rely on the IBJ for all things Indiana business. Start your $1 a week trial now at ibj.com/trial offer.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. The city of Hobart announced today it has reached an agreement with Amazon to develop a next-generation data center campus as part of the company's $15 billion investment announced Monday. Mayor Josh Huddleston says the project will give a boost to the city amid falling revenues.
We sought good, strong development to kind of offset those losses, and so that we didn't have to turn to our residents and put everything back on the backs of our residents, that we could do that through development. As luck would have it, we were able to engage with a good partner like Amazon. They're a really great partner to work with.
The city said Amazon will cover the costs of all infrastructure improvements related to the project, which could break ground next spring. In a reversal to their previous tax, both chambers of the Indiana General Assembly now plan to meet in December to debate redistricting. Both chambers voted last week to recess until the new year after Senate President Pro Tem Roderick Bray said the Senate would not convene next month to discuss the issue. The House will now convene on December 1st, while the Senate will meet the following week. After being closed for over 5 years, a popular Bloomington restaurant is back. Pat East, former executive director of The Mill in Bloomington, and his wife Jamie bought Darn Good Soup, which closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and reopened it last week inside the Chocolate Mousse. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
A historic property in downtown Evansville known as the Hilliard Lyons Building is on the market. Built in 1916 by Citizens National Bank, 329 on Main is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and is currently home to 50 one- and two-bedroom apartments. Scott Edmond, managing director of Evansville-based NAI Prime Commercial, is leading the charge to sell the city's first skyscraper, which includes commercial space along with the residential units.
This building has the historic feeling of living in a downtown environment that I think a lot of people still appreciate. It's a beautiful building. There's a lot going on in downtown Evansville. CRG Residential is working on the vault on Main, and that building is coming right along. They're putting brick and stone on the face of that right now. It's going to be 161 units catty corner to this building.
Edmond has received some offers on the building, but a property tax dispute prevented him from discussing proposals or pricing. The president of the Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District, which oversees the South Shore Line, has announced plans to retire after more than a decade in the role, according to our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana. Mike Nolan told the agency's Board of Trustees on Monday that he will step down after the board selects his successor as the commuter rail line nears completion of its massive $945 million Westlake Corridor extension. Nolan was named leader of the South Shore Line in 2014. Since that time, he has overseen several major developments for the railroad, including the $649 million double-track project that was completed in May 2024. Nolan said he will remain on the job until the board finds a replacement, which could be in the first quarter of 2026. Prior to today's announcement of Hobart being selected for Amazon's next data center in Indiana, Northwest Indiana Forum CEO Heather Ennis said the Northwest Indiana region is primed for such projects that will build upon the infrastructure already in place.
Not only will this utilize the assets that we already have here in the region, but it will help to continue to move those on and add value to those infrastructure components, adding more energy to our grid, adding more opportunity to continue to attract high-tech jobs, high-tech investment, and really drive that genesis of the data-driven economy that we're all seeing happen right now. This is where the economic development puck is going, and we're really excited that at these opportunities we're communities are fighting for this type of investment.
NS believes Amazon's $15 billion investment will also provide benefits for other industries, especially in Northwest Indiana, where steel production and oil refining has been a dominant economic force. 913 Sports founder Tom Hanley is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
From breaking news to in-depth articles, discover the advantage of unlimited access to all news from IBJ and Inside Indiana Business with our limited time trial. Get started now at ibj.com/trial offer.
The IBJ Media Podcast Network is the soundtrack of a growing state. Indiana is on the move, and you can hear it happening on the IBJ Media Podcast Network. We bring you the voices at the center of our economy, our courts, our companies, and our communities. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation that's building Indiana's future. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcasts.com.